Let me give you an idea of what we actually cover on the programme. So you'll arrive on the first day, usually by mid-afternoon, and you'll be transferred across to the villa. If you are on an earlier flight, then of course you're welcome to arrive at the villa earlier and of course enjoy the facilities. But we usually kick things off on the first day with a barbecue, and it's a great opportunity for everybody to network and get to know one another. And you'll hear from me about the first real significant business that I started and grew to 8-figure revenues, which was in the recruitment sector. The second day, we will look to start things off after a hearty breakfast, and then it's a real full-on day. And the first thing that we'll cover is looking at the financial side of a business. So we look at putting the right financial controls in place to ensure that your business generate significant cash flows so that it can grow. The reason why the majority of businesses tend to fail is not because they're not profitable, but it's because they run out of cash. And particularly when you're in a growing business, when cash flow can be much more challenging because you're probably reinvesting a lot of the cash into your business so that you can grow. We'll teach you how you can put the right financial controls in place to make sure that you can deal with that growth. And we'll look at some active case studies. So one of the case studies we look at is an IT support services company that we took from 1 million to 15 million in 2 years. So we'll talk about the financial side of how we managed to make that happen. We'll then talk about putting the right legal and tax structure in place that will not just put your business on a platform so that it can grow, but it will also protect your assets as the business scales. And we'll hear from a guest speaker who is a leading UK tax expert. We'll then start looking at what I call balance sheet thinking. So this is how you can use the assets of your business to grow and scale. And we look at a specific case study of a food manufacturing business that I was involved in that went from 6 million to 25 million in 3 years. And I would say that the fundamental thing that business got right and propelled it on that growth was really to do with how it used its assets, and it applied that balance sheet thinking. We'll then talk about how you can improve sales by 40% organically in any business without spending any money. We'll talk about how you can get your business completely oversubscribed, so marketing almost becomes natural and people just can't get enough of your business. We'll hear from an entrepreneur guest speaker who grew a business to 550 staff in a very short period of time before selling it to one of the world's largest media groups. We also hear from another guest speaker on the second day of how he added £2.5 million worth of revenue organically to his business in less than 18 months. And then we finish the day on probably one of my favorite topics, which is around recruitment and hiring smarter people than you, why you should do that and how you should do that. Day 3, we look at how you can run the business on autopilot. You'll hear from me again about how I double customers in an afternoon. So we look at how you can actually acquire competitors, and perhaps that's a smarter and quicker way to growth. We talk about how you can finance those sorts of acquisitions without actually using your own money. And we hear from a guest speaker who's an international, globally recognized M&A expert, where he will share with you how you can buy a company using no upfront capital or debt, or you can use other people's money, i.e. banks or financiers, to buy a business. We also hear about how you can list your company on the stock market and access massive capital so you can significantly scale and grow your business. And the first one of its kind actually made 23 millionaires in the first 90 days. The final day, we talk about becoming a key person of influence within your sector, and we hear from a guest speaker on this topic. And then you'll have 15 minutes one-on-one time with me, where we will look at your business briefly, your plan, and we'll talk about how there are opportunities for us to JV and how I can support you in your journey to growing your business. Obviously, whilst I'm talking to other delegates, this is a great opportunity as well for networking and looking for joint venture and investment opportunities with the other delegates. And then you'll be returned to the airport for your return flight back to the UK or wherever you're arriving from.